Have you ever woken up feeling more tired than when you went to bed, or found yourself struggling to do things you once did with ease? What if I told you that you could regain your strength, energy, and independence, even in your 70s or beyond, by simply making a few simple changes to your daily routine? In this video, I'm going to share the exact practices that helped Barbara, at 72, reclaim her vitality and freedom, without any fancy gym memberships or complicated equipment. You'll learn 5 easy, proven tips to reverse the effects of aging, boost your energy, and regain your mobility, all while keeping it simple and accessible. And trust me, you'll want to stick around for the last 2 tips. They made all the difference for Barbara and could change everything for you, too. If you've been feeling like you're slowing down and want to change that, you're in the right place. These small, intentional steps can start making a noticeable difference in just days. Not only will you feel stronger physically, but you'll also find the mental clarity and emotional peace that come with taking control of your health. So, if you're ready to take the first step toward a more energetic, independent life, make sure to watch until the end. This video could be the game changer you've been waiting for. Don't miss out. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me. And if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. 1. Understand what's happening to your body. Aging is often viewed as this inevitable slide into decline, a period when your body gives up on you, and everything you once enjoyed becomes more and more challenging. The media, society, and even our fears reinforce this notion that aging equals frailty, immobility, and constant discomfort. But I'm here to tell you, this isn't the full story. Aging doesn't have to mean a surrender to a sedentary life. It doesn't mean you have to stop moving and give up on your independence. Aging simply signals a shift, not a complete downfall. Sure, your body is changing, but that doesn't mean you have to let it dictate your quality of life. It's about adapting and evolving the way you care for yourself. Too many people fall into the trap of accepting the stiffness, weakness, and sluggishness that come with aging as a natural, unchangeable part of life. And it breaks my heart to see that because it's not the truth. Much of the physical decline we experience is not directly caused by the inevitable passage of time, but by how we respond to it. When we stop moving and fall into inactivity, we unknowingly fuel the very thing we dread most: physical and emotional decline. Take Barbara, for example. She was a woman who, over the years, gradually moved less and less. It might have started with skipping her daily walk because her knees ached, or avoiding lifting things because her arms felt weak. Slowly, she withdrew from doing the things she once loved, from staying active, from keeping her body strong. And guess what happened? The less she moved, the weaker she became. And the weaker she became, the more daunting even simple tasks seemed. Her muscles atrophied. Her joints stiffened. It was a vicious cycle, one that deepened her frustration and sense of helplessness. She felt like her body was betraying her, like she was aging too quickly, as if time had already stolen her vitality. It's heartbreaking when you see someone in that state, trapped in their own body, fighting a battle they don't even realize they can still win. But Barbara did something incredible. One day, she decided she wasn't going to let that cycle define her anymore. She chose to start moving again, even if it was just a small step at first. And you know what? Her body responded most beautifully. Her muscles, stiff and weak, began to regain some of their former strength. Her energy levels started to climb. She felt the spark of vitality that had been hiding beneath the surface all along. And let me tell you, this is the truth for all of us. Our bodies are made for movement. They thrive on it. I can't stress this enough. Human beings were not designed to be sedentary. Look at our evolutionary history. We were meant to walk, run, lift, climb, and move. It's in our DNA. When you stop moving, even just a little bit, the consequences are far-reaching. Muscles begin to shrink and lose strength. Joints become stiff and lack flexibility. The heart weakens because it's not being asked to pump as much. The body starts to slow down in every way imaginable. It's like a car that's been left in the garage too long. Tires go flat, the engine sputters, and everything begins to break down. But here's the good news. Just like a neglected car can run smoothly again with a little maintenance, your body can find its rhythm again, too. It doesn't take a massive overhaul. It starts small. You don't have to suddenly run marathons or lift heavy weights. If you start small, your body will reward you. Start with a short walk around your house or down the hallway. If mornings find you stiff and sore, try a few gentle stretches before you even get out of bed. You don't need to climb mountains or take up extreme exercise routines. Even the smallest efforts to move can make all the difference. These small actions might seem insignificant, but trust me, they add up. Slowly, like a snowball gaining momentum, your body begins to respond. Barbara's journey proves that. She began with just 5 minutes of walking each day, barely enough to break a sweat. But after a few weeks, she began to notice a change. Her legs felt steadier. Her balance improved. And most importantly, her confidence started to bloom again. She wasn't training for a marathon or doing intense workouts. She was simply moving, and that was enough. I can't emphasize this enough. You are never too old to rebuild strength. You're never too old to reclaim mobility or restore your independence. Your body is incredibly resilient, adapting to whatever demands you place on it every single day. It's a constant reminder of how strong we truly are when we take care of ourselves. Movement isn't a luxury or a bonus. It's a necessity if you want to live well as you age. And I promise you, the results are worth it. 2. Stop accepting fatigue as normal. Another silent thief that creeps in with age is constant, unrelenting fatigue. It's that bone-deep tiredness that never seems to lift, no matter how much rest you get. You might wake up after what should have been a full night's sleep and still feel drained, like the energy that was supposed to fuel your day has slipped away through the cracks. By midday, the couch is calling your name, and by evening, despite hardly lifting a finger, you're exhausted. Barbara felt this too. She thought it was just part of getting older, a natural consequence of time passing. But here's the shocking truth that Barbara, and so many others, fail to realize. Fatigue is not a guaranteed part of aging. No, it's usually a sign that something's out of balance, something you can fix. Sure, aging does slow us down in some ways, but persistent exhaustion doesn't have to be the norm. Often, fatigue is a byproduct of habits that have slipped out of alignment. Inconsistent sleep patterns can wreak havoc on your body's natural rhythm. Staying up late one night and crashing early the next messes with your internal clock, leaving you groggy and unfocused. Not moving enough can make you more tired. It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? But the truth is, inactivity slows circulation, decreases energy, and leaves you feeling sluggish. Even something as simple as dehydration can drain your energy and cloud your mind. Yet so many of us go through our days without realizing we're not drinking enough water. So, what can you do? First of all, you have to stop accepting fatigue as a given. You deserve more than that. Start with hydration. Most people don't realize that dehydration often masquerades as tiredness. If you're feeling sluggish, it could very well be because your body is screaming for water. Make it a point to drink water throughout the day, not just when you're thirsty. That's a late signal. Keep a bottle nearby, sip consistently, and see how much better you feel. Next, focus on sleep. Quality sleep matters just as much, if not more, than the quantity. Establish a regular sleep routine. Go to bed and wake up at roughly the same time every day. Turn off screens at least an hour before bed to avoid the blue light that messes with your melatonin levels. Sleep isn't just about the number of hours, it's about the quality of those hours. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Lastly, when you're feeling tired, the last thing you might want to do is move. But I'm telling you, moving is one of the best ways to fight fatigue. It's counterintuitive, I know, but a short walk, a few stretches, or a simple routine of light activity can do wonders for your energy. That's exactly what Barbara discovered. After feeling sluggish for so long, she made the choice to drink more water, set a bedtime routine, and stick to her 5-minute walks. Slowly, the fog of fatigue lifted. She wasn't exhausted in the morning. She didn't have to drag herself through the day. She had the energy to enjoy her life again. Fatigue doesn't have to rule your days. It's not about being perfect. It's about making small changes, consistent changes that add up over time. You can do this. You have more control over how you feel than you realize. Take charge and refuse to let exhaustion take away your joy. 3. Your mindset matters more than you think. If there's one thing I can tell you with absolute certainty, it's this: your mindset has more power than you could ever imagine. It's the silent force behind how you age, how you live, and most importantly, how you feel as the years go by. When I think about the people who age with grace, with vitality, with that unstoppable zest for life, one thing stands out. They've learned to change the way they view aging. And it's not just about thinking positive thoughts once in a while. It's about fundamentally shifting how you perceive your potential, how you see your age, your body, your future. This is the lens through which your life unfolds. And trust me, that lens has the power to change everything. Take Barbara, for example. She lived for so many years believing she was past her prime, thinking that she was too old to start exercising, too old to learn new things, too old to embrace any kind of change. She looked at her life through a lens of limitation, a lens that told her age was a barrier she couldn't overcome. It was as though she had already decided her future before she'd even given herself the chance to rewrite her story. Those years of conviction held her back. She found herself stuck in a cycle of self-doubt, immobilized by her own belief that she had reached the end of her road. I can feel the weight of that belief, can't you? It's like being chained to a spot, even when the world around you is calling for you to move, to breathe, to grow. But here's the beautiful part. Something inside her clicked. She had a revelation, a moment of clarity. She looked in the mirror and realized, what if everything she'd been telling herself was wrong? What if age wasn't something to fear, but something to celebrate, to nurture? She decided, right then and there, to challenge the narrative that had kept her in this cage of belief. And my goodness, what happened next is nothing short of inspiring. Barbara's transformation wasn't just physical, it was emotional, spiritual, and mental. As soon as she stopped letting her age be a limitation and instead viewed it as an opportunity to love herself more, to prioritize her health, to reawaken her vitality, everything changed. Her body responded, not with resistance, but with eagerness, as if it had been waiting for her to make that shift all along. This is the crux of it all, friends. I'm telling you, this is the secret so many of us overlook. If you walk around convincing yourself that you're too old to change, to grow, to improve, your mind will find 1,000 reasons to prove you right. But if you dare to believe, just for a second, that you can change, that you are capable of growth, regardless of your age, you will find a whole new world of possibilities waiting for you. It's truly a self-fulfilling prophecy. The mind is that powerful. The power to choose which version of your life you're going to live rests entirely in your hands. You are not too old to move your body with purpose, to rebuild your strength, to rediscover the joy of waking up in the morning with energy and excitement. And you're certainly not too old to take back control of your life. Don't let society's limiting beliefs dictate your future. You have every right to live life on your terms, to write your own story, to defy those harmful stereotypes that may try to box you in. Today, right now, start with something small but intentional. Sip an extra glass of water. Take 5 minutes to stretch your arms and legs. Stand up, shake off the stiffness in your joints. These aren't just small acts. They are powerful, conscious investments in the future you deserve. Trust me, in the months and years to come, you'll look back and thank yourself for the steps you're taking today. 4. The extraordinary power of sleep. Barbara had hit a pivotal moment in her life. She had already decided to shed the old limiting beliefs about age and health, but despite her efforts, something was still off. It was like she had made so many great changes, taking walks, drinking more water, trying to get a good night's rest, but somehow there was still a sense of fatigue that lingered. I don't know about you, but I've felt that too. You do everything right, you make all the smart choices, and yet you still wake up tired, like you haven't slept at all. It's incredibly frustrating. I know Barbara felt that exact frustration when she'd wake up groggy, her legs heavy as if they were made of lead, and by mid-afternoon, the exhaustion would hit her like a wave. It didn't make sense. She was putting in the work, making all the right moves, but still, something was missing. And that's when she had an epiphany, the incredible, often underappreciated power of sleep. Sleep isn't just a way to pass the time between your busy days. It's the cornerstone of everything we need to age well, to thrive. Sleep isn't a passive act. It's an active, healing process. It's when our bodies get the chance to repair, restore, and recharge. When we sleep, our muscles heal, our energy stores replenish, and our brain fine-tunes itself for clarity, focus, and mental sharpness. It's vital. And I'll tell you, for years I didn't fully grasp how crucial quality sleep is. I just thought it was about the hours in bed. But it's about the quality of those hours, whether your body is getting the deep, restorative rest it craves. Barbara realized that she hadn't been giving her body the sleep it needed to truly restore itself. She was still running on fumes, and it wasn't because of her age, it was because of how fragmented and shallow her sleep had become. Does this sound familiar to you? Do you find yourself tossing and turning in the middle of the night, waking up multiple times, or dragging yourself out of bed still exhausted, even after what should have been a full night's rest? You might have thought, like I did, that it's just a part of getting older, that it's inevitable. But I want to challenge you to think again. You have more control over the quality of your sleep than you realize. Barbara decided to take control, and the results were nothing short of transformative. She started with simple, but incredibly effective changes. She established a regular sleep schedule, going to bed at the same time each night, even on weekends, so her body could recalibrate. She created a bedtime ritual to help her mind unwind. She powered down her phone, dimmed the lights, and soaked in a warm bath. And her bedroom? It became a sleep sanctuary, dark, quiet, and serene, free of distractions. The difference was night and day. Within just a few days, she woke up feeling clearer, more alert, and energized in a way she hadn't in years. Her muscles were no longer stiff and achy, and she had the energy to power through the day without that dreaded afternoon slump. This, my friends, is your wake-up call, quite literally. You deserve sleep that restores you, not drains you. Don't let poor sleep steal your vitality. Try these small changes tonight, and see for yourself how quickly your days can transform. Trust me, it's not just about more sleep, it's about better sleep. And your future self will thank you for it. 5. The hidden dangers of sitting too much. The hidden dangers of sitting too much are often overlooked and underestimated by so many of us. It's an issue that sneaks up on us slowly, silently chipping away at our health and our vitality without us even realizing it. Just like Barbara, we can easily fall into the trap of comfort and convenience, thinking that a little bit of movement here and there is enough to keep us in good shape. But in reality, it's a much more insidious threat than most of us care to admit. Barbara's journey didn't end with just improving her sleep. It led her down a path of self-awareness that opened her eyes to a far more critical issue. Let me ask you something. How many hours do you spend sitting each day? 3 hours? 5 hours? Go ahead and take a guess, then double it. Chances are, you're closer to the truth than you'd like to believe. And if that sounds uncomfortable, it should, because it is. For Barbara, sitting had become so much a part of her daily life that she didn't even realize how damaging it was until it became impossible to ignore. Like so many of us, she fell into the rhythm of sitting down without even considering the long-term effects it could have on her health. Think about it, sitting at the breakfast table with a cup of coffee and the morning paper, sinking into the couch to watch her favorite shows, scrolling endlessly through her phone in those quiet, unoccupied moments, or chatting with friends and family while lounging in a chair. It seemed harmless at first, and it was easy to justify. I take walks around the block, I do a little housework, this should be enough, she'd tell herself. But the truth came crashing down when she decided to track her sitting habits. What she found was nothing short of a wake-up call. On average, Barbara was spending more than 8 hours sitting each day, sometimes closer to 10 hours. That realization hit her hard. This was no longer just a habit, it was a lifestyle, and it was slowly but surely taking its toll on her body. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Here's the cold, hard truth. The more time you spend sitting, the harder it becomes to break free from the downward spiral of physical decline. You might not notice it at first, but your body is paying the price in ways you can't easily see. When you sit for long periods, your blood circulation slows down, your joints start to stiffen, and your muscles gradually weaken. Over time, your body gets used to this stillness, and it adapts in all the wrong ways. The effects don't appear overnight, but over weeks, months, and years, the damage builds up, quietly eroding your health. It's why, all of a sudden, simple tasks, things you once did with ease, start to feel like monumental challenges. Rising from a low chair, climbing stairs, or carrying a bag of groceries become obstacles instead of routine activities. For Barbara, it was a sharp realization that, if she didn't take immediate action, she was at risk of losing her independence, the very thing that gave her life its meaning. And I know that resonates with all of us. None of us want to be the ones who lose the ability to live freely, to move easily, and to stay independent as we get older. Barbara saw this truth clearly, and instead of allowing the creeping effects of her sedentary lifestyle to steal her future, she decided to do something about it. She took proactive steps, small, simple, but incredibly powerful, and if you want to follow in her footsteps, you can start today, right now. First, Barbara committed to stand up every hour, no matter what. She set a gentle reminder on her phone, a soft chime every 60 minutes that would prompt her to get up, stretch her legs, and shake off the stiffness that had built up over the last hour of sitting. It might seem like a small thing, but that single action had a profound impact on her physical and mental well-being. Second, Barbara redefined movement as something to embrace, not dread. She found ways to integrate more activity into her day without the need for intense exercise or time-consuming gym routines. While brushing her teeth, she'd march in place. During phone calls, she'd pace around the room. While waiting for the kettle to boil or the microwave to finish, she'd sneak in a few calf raises. These little moments of movement throughout the day became her lifeline, and she didn't have to wait for the perfect time to get active. She turned her ordinary routines into opportunities for better health. But perhaps the most significant change Barbara made was how she viewed movement. Instead of seeing it as a burden, something she had to do to earn her health, she chose to view it as a source of joy and empowerment. This shift in perspective transformed everything. No longer did she have to force herself to go to the gym or take long walks she didn't enjoy. Instead, she found simple, playful bursts of movement that made her feel good. She parked at the far end of the lot to get in a few extra steps, took the stairs instead of the elevator, and even danced around her kitchen while making dinner. These small changes, these joyful moments of movement, made all the difference in the world. Within just a few weeks of implementing these changes, Barbara noticed a dramatic difference. Her body felt more limber and flexible. Her legs carried her with far less effort, and the nagging feeling of being stuck in her own body, of being trapped in a sedentary lifestyle, began to fade away. She had taken control of her future. She had started to reclaim the independence she feared losing, and in doing so, she was preparing herself for a life that was rich with movement, vitality, and freedom. And let me tell you, this is something you can do for yourself, too. The truth is, movement is the secret to staying independent as you age. The longer you remain sedentary, the more your body becomes accustomed to stillness, and one day, you might find yourself struggling to do the things you once took for granted, like walking across a room without a wobble or standing up without groaning. But here's the empowering message. You don't have to wait until that day comes. You can change your story starting right now. Start by moving a little more today than you did yesterday. And don't worry about perfection. Just commit to keep going. The small changes you make today will pay off tenfold in the future. Your future self, the one who wants to keep exploring, laughing, and living fully, will be eternally grateful. Trust me, your body will thank you, your heart will thank you, and your soul will thank you. You have the power to change your future, one small step at a time. 6. The simple habit that can revolutionize your health. Barbara's transformation was nothing short of extraordinary. It felt like a weight had been lifted off her shoulders, and with each passing day, she grew stronger, more vibrant, and more in control of her life. She had worked hard to improve her sleep, ensuring that her nights were peaceful and restorative, and had committed herself to increasing her daily physical activity, which brought a new sense of energy and vitality. But even with all these changes, Barbara knew there was still something missing. A single, crucial element that could tie everything together and take her health to the next level. This missing piece wasn't something she could see or feel immediately. It wasn't a grand, obvious shift like the improvements in her sleep or the extra pep in her step from her increased movement. No, this habit was subtle. It was the kind of thing that, when you looked at it from the outside, seemed almost too simple to have any real impact. Yet, it was profoundly powerful, influencing every part of Barbara's body, mind, and spirit in ways she had never imagined. As she continued her journey toward better health, Barbara began to notice small but meaningful changes. Her bones felt stronger, her moods were more stable, and she found herself bouncing back from stress with an ease she hadn't experienced in years. It was as if her resilience had been supercharged. She could face the inevitable challenges of life with a newfound sense of strength and calm. She started feeling like a version of herself she hadn't seen in decades, alive, vibrant, and more grounded than ever. So, what was this missing piece? What was this habit that was so simple yet so transformative? This is where the magic happened. It was the kind of habit that didn't require special equipment, expensive supplements, or hours at the gym. It wasn't some hard-to-follow regimen or complex routine that you had to overthink or stress about. It was something that could be easily incorporated into any lifestyle, and the best part, it was completely free. But what truly sets this habit apart is how it works so deeply on a physiological and emotional level, touching everything from your physical health to your mental clarity and emotional stability. The truth is, most people overlook this habit because it seems too good to be true. But the results are undeniable. Imagine waking up every morning feeling not only physically refreshed and energized, but also emotionally centered and resilient, ready to take on the day with a renewed sense of purpose. Imagine feeling a deep connection to your own body, having the strength and energy to do the things you love, and feeling that emotional stability that allows you to handle whatever life throws your way. Let me be clear, this habit is a game changer. It's effortless. It doesn't require any fancy equipment, and it costs absolutely nothing. And yet, it has the power to completely revolutionize your health in ways you wouldn't believe unless you experienced it for yourself. Just like Barbara, you'll begin to notice improvements in your physical health. Stronger bones, better mood, more resilience. And it will all flow from a simple, powerful practice that you can start today. I can't wait to share this with you. This habit has the potential to completely transform your life in an almost effortless way. It's not about huge leaps or drastic changes. It's about incorporating something simple into your daily routine that will change the way you feel in your body, mind, and heart. Are you ready to learn what it is? Because once you discover it, your approach to health and wellness will never be the same again. You'll be amazed at how such a small, subtle habit can have a monumental impact on your life. Stay tuned. This is something you won't want to miss. 7. More than just an exercise, a way to find peace. Barbara was on fire, and it was such a refreshing feeling. After battling sleepless nights for months, she finally conquered her struggles and reclaimed the joy of movement. She was back on track, her body filled with newfound energy and strength. It was as though, for the first time in years, she had control over the way her aging body was unfolding, steering her ship into calmer, clearer waters. But one seemingly ordinary afternoon, everything shifted. As Barbara sat on her porch, sipping a cup of tea, watching the world go by, she had a moment of realization. Despite all the strides she'd made, despite the energy surging through her veins, there were still moments when something felt off. Her knees creaked when she stood up, a constant reminder that she wasn't quite as young as she used to be. Her mood would sometimes dip unexpectedly, and that lingering fatigue, like a cloud that wouldn't clear, would follow her through certain days. It frustrated her. She had worked so hard, so tirelessly, and yet these little annoyances persisted. She couldn't put her finger on it. But then, during a routine doctor's appointment, a simple question made everything click into place. "How often do you spend time outside?" her doctor asked, almost casually. Barbara paused, a little taken aback. She wasn't sure. She took short walks, yes. But the majority of her time was spent indoors, reading by the window, watching television, or tidying up the house. The question had caught her off guard. Had she been spending enough time outside? She hadn't truly thought about it before. That was when her doctor revealed something that would change her perspective forever. We all know that sunlight helps our bodies create vitamin D, but what Barbara learned next went far beyond what she had imagined. Vitamin D wasn't just a nutrient, it was the very foundation of vitality, especially as we age. It kept bones strong, muscles flexible, and joints fluid. Without enough of it, the body would begin to break down, becoming fragile and prone to falls. What's worse, our skin becomes less efficient at making vitamin D as we get older. And to make matters worse, we often spend too much time indoors, shielded from the sun. Barbara had always thought the stiffness in her joints and the occasional low-energy day were just part of the aging process. What if she was wrong? What if there was something she had been missing all along? Determined to make a change, she decided to test this theory. Every morning, she made it a point to step outside for just 10 minutes. No complicated routines. No heavy expectations. She'd sit on her porch or walk a few steps down her driveway, letting the warm rays of the sun bathe her face. It was a small commitment, but within just a couple of weeks, something shifted inside of her. The aching in her knees started to loosen, the fatigue began to fade, and her mood? It lifted. She was sleeping better, too. A deep, restful sleep that had evaded her for so long. The science behind this was crystal clear. Research shows that regular exposure to sunlight doesn't just strengthen your bones, it boosts your mental well-being, improves your immune system, and enhances brain function. So, I ask you, how much time do you spend outside, basking in the sun each day? If your answer is, not much, you're far from alone. But it's time to rethink that. The most beautiful part of this solution? It's so simple, so effortless, and best of all, it's free. Here's how you can start today. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight daily. The morning light is especially powerful. It helps set your internal clock for better sleep, but even if mornings don't fit your schedule, any time will do. Find ways to make it a natural part of your day. Sip your coffee on the patio, take a walk after lunch, or sit near an open window, letting the sunlight reach your skin. But remember, balance is key. If you'll be outside for longer periods, don't forget the sunscreen. Protect your skin, but don't shy away from the sun completely. It's the natural boost your body craves. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Barbara couldn't believe how something so simple had such a profound impact on her health. She felt stronger, more vibrant, and like she was truly living her best life. But she knew there was one more thing she needed to do. The sun had given her the energy and strength to feel more alive than she had in years, but she wasn't done yet. There was still one final step to ensure that she would be able to move freely, independently, and with confidence. And that, my friends, is coming next. 8. The secret to staying mobile for life. It was an ordinary morning when Barbara bent down to tie her shoelaces. A task she'd done countless times before. But this time, something was different. As she kneeled, a faint but unmistakable ache pulsed through her knees. It wasn't sharp or unbearable, but it was there, a nagging reminder of the subtle changes happening in her body. For a moment, she paused, her fingers still gripping the laces, taking stock of what she felt. She immediately recognized the sensation. It was the unmistakable sign of weakening legs. Barbara had made so much progress in improving her overall health, eating better, staying active, and keeping her spirits high. But in that moment, the reality hit her. She had done little to intentionally strengthen her legs. How had she missed that? If she didn't do something now, she knew exactly how the story would unfold. Struggling to get up from a chair, wobbling with every step, and worst of all, facing the very real risk of a fall, something she knew all too well. Barbara had seen it before, too many times. Friends and neighbors tripping over a rug, missing a step, or taking a fall, only to end up with broken bones, weeks in a hospital bed, or worse, a permanent shift in their lives toward dependence. She thought of Margaret, a friend who had once been so vibrant and full of life, now bound to a wheelchair after a fall that seemed so small at the time. Barbara wouldn't, let that be her future. She wasn't going down that road. Not if she could help it. So right there, on that quiet morning, Barbara made a promise to herself. She promised to honor her legs, her foundation, because without them, her independence would slip away. Our legs are so much more than just limbs that help us walk. They are the very pillars of our freedom. When they weaken, the smallest tasks become monumental challenges. Standing up, walking to the mailbox, climbing a few stairs, these everyday actions become impossible. The good news is, it doesn't take much to turn things around. Barbara didn't rush out to join an expensive gym or buy fancy equipment. She didn't carve out hours of her day for grueling workouts. Instead, she started small. A few minutes each day of simple leg exercises worked into her routine. And within weeks, she began to notice the difference. She could stand from her favorite chair without pushing herself up with her hands. She walked to the corner store with ease, no longer out of breath or unstable. The stairs? She climbed them with confidence, no hesitation, no doubts. If Barbara, busy, with her creaky knees and full life, could do it, then so can you. Here's how you can start today. 3 simple exercises that require nothing but a chair and a few minutes. First, chair squats. Slowly sit in a sturdy chair, then stand back up without using your hands. Do this 5 to 10 times and feel your thighs and glutes waking up, reminding you of their power. Second, leg lifts. Sit down, straighten one leg out, hold it for a moment, and feel the strength in your thigh. Switch legs and repeat. This targets your quadriceps, the muscles crucial to balance and strength. And lastly, heel raises. Stand tall, hold onto a chair or counter for support, rise onto your tiptoes, hold it for a second, and then lower back down with control. This strengthens your calves, improves circulation, and helps with ankle swelling after a long day. The secret isn't in overdoing it, it's in consistency. Barbara started with just 5 minutes a day, sometimes while waiting for her coffee to brew. Now, she moves through her days with quiet confidence, knowing her legs are ready for whatever life throws her way, whether it's a peaceful walk through the park or a spontaneous visit to a friend. It's never too late to invest in your legs and in your future. Wow, what a journey we've been on together today. From the simple yet powerful impact of sunlight on your overall well-being, to the small but effective exercises that can help keep your legs strong and your independence intact, there's so much to take away from this. I hope you've learned something new that resonates with you, something that will help you feel more energized, more confident, and more in control of your health and vitality as you age. So, let's reflect for a moment. What's the one thing you've learned today that you are most excited to bring into your own life? I'd love to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Share with us what practice you're going to start doing today to make a positive change in your life. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to leave a comment, share it with others who might benefit from this, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more content like this. Together, we can make our lives better, one step at a time. Thanks for watching, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts.